All right, we have for you reports that are coming in. We'll bring you the source in just a second, but we are learning right now. It has been confirmed that Hamas, one particular outfit of the Hamas group, brought ISIS flags in their attack. This is something that is being reported by a number of different Israeli media outlets too. I'll wait for a reporter to join us to bring us more source-based information on this. The IDF putting this out right now as we're sharing with you on the screen behind me. Israeli Defense Forces saying that Hamas brought ISIS flags to an attack that they carried out. We'll bring you more context on this. Israeli media has been reporting this for a few hours now. I'll wait for a reporter to join us in just a second to bring us more context on this. The Times of Israel had carried this exact piece of news a few hours ago. In their report of this, they'd said that a Telegram channel first spotted footage from a kibbutz in which a massacre took place on Saturday morning. And it's in that visual that soldiers found a flag of the Islamic State. We're showing you on the screen behind me and on the screen on your left side visuals of that tweet put out by the IDF, in which they are stating that an Islamic State flag was found. This is, again, according to Israeli media, but we'll wait for reporters to join us to confirm where this was. Israeli media is reporting that pictures of the flags were found in a particular assault on a kibbutz. Remember, kibbutzes are agricultural villages. These were agricultural villages that were attacked early on Saturday morning that are on the borders of the Gaza Strip. Now, this particular visual reportedly came in from the kibbutz Sufa, but again, we'll wait for reporters to join us to confirm these details. You remember that Israeli officials have, in a number of statements they've made in the last few days, linked Hamas and the Islamic State in one or two manners. A, the manner of operation, and B, also to make a comment on the enormity of the atrocities. But actual links between Hamas and IS are harder to find. That's important to state. We'll wait for a reporter to join us, though, to bring us more context on this story in just a second. This tweet being put out by the Israeli Defense Forces, as you can see on your screens. I'll wait for a reporter to join us to bring us more context on this story. The Times of Israel carried this report a little while ago. They said that Telegram channels were already reporting for a number of groups on the ground that an Islamic State flag was found along with heavy weaponry, including anti-tank missiles and rocket-propelled grenade launchers. The visual we are now playing out behind me too. The statement put out by the Israeli Defense Forces, it's accompanied, as you can see, by a visual below it, and in that visual the items that I was talking about. So heavy weaponry, as you can see on the bottom, an anti-tank missile, rocket-propelled grenade launchers. You can see all of this in the visuals, and this flag that we're talking about. Now, we'll have a reporter join us in just a second. Remember, this is a link, as we've told you, that Israeli officials have been making over the last few days at multiple points. Though that comparison, it's important to point out again, has mainly been seen as an attempt to explain the enormity of the atrocities that have played out over the last few days. Actual links between Hamas, which is an outfit based out of the Gaza Strip, and the Islamic State are harder to find. Now, the visual behind me, as you can see, this is the flag that we are talking about right now, right in the forefront of the screen. And that is the set of weaponry that we're talking about. Now, again, the location from this image is not something we can confirm right now. We will have a reporter join us. This is a statement put out by the Israeli Defense Forces, but where this visual is from, Israeli media, so the Israel Times, for example, is reporting that these visuals are from a kibbutz that was attacked. A kibbutz, remember, is one of the agricultural communities that are on the border of the Gaza Strip. Let's go over to my colleague Anand Narsiman, who has more details with us about what the IDF is saying. Anand, over to you.
Well, this throws a whole new dimension to the entire issue altogether. If ISIS flags have been brought there, and if this is what the IDF is confirming, then that means that there is a thought continuum which is totally fundamentalist and embedded in hate, and that anybody who is of any other faith needs to be dispensed away with, and that's the kind of hate that's been seen on display, where the Israel authorities, their own Prime Minister and the IDF has claimed that innocents have been butchered. This was a war supposed to be a fight amongst equals, but in this case, young babies, women have been torched, they've been slaughtered, and there are gory visuals which will haunt people and haunt humanity for a long, long time, of the kind of savagery that was unleashed. And if it was inspired by this kind of an ideal, then clearly there should be no deterrent for the world to declare the Hamas a terrorist outfit, and anybody who's trying to give them cover fire or trying to justify will now be seen as somebody that is patronizing ISIS. And that's what it stands out. If the idea make this claim, it actually throws open a whole new dimension to this entire conflict and this entire war. And it actually ratifies Israel's claims that the Hamas are worse than the ISIS, and that there are clear underpinnings of ISIS-driven ideology here. And if that's the case, then closer home also, Toya, and to our viewers, there are dimensions of those who are standing. They need to draw a clear line between terrorists and also those who are claiming or fighting for a separate state of Palestine. And that's where the Prime Minister is also saying, Prime Minister Narendra Modi also drawing the line that this is outright terror and these are terror outfits, and this is an act of terror. An act of terror can never be condoned. It has to be condemned, and we stand with Israel. While totally separating the other issue of Israel and Palestine as two states or conversations on that front. This is an ISIS-driven ideology, if that's what's manifest, and if this is true. And the IDF has confirmed this with proof that some of the Hamas soldiers or Hamas terrorists who have been neutralized, they have now been seen with ISIS flags. And that's the ideology, that's the kind of hate that's driven them to commit an act of barbarism and savagery.
Anand, thank you for that context. We have Major General S.P. Sinha, who's with us right now on the phone. Sir, thank you for joining us this afternoon on CNN News 18. Sir, these are initially reports, as we were telling our audiences, that were being reported by Israeli media for more than 12 hours now. Now the IDF, the Israeli Defense Forces, have put out a tweet in which they seem to be confirming this news with a photo, again, seemingly of an Islamic State flag on the body of, the Times of Israel is reporting, a terrorist that was killed at Kibbutz Sufa. How do you read this, sir?
You see, Hamas, I think, is the more obnoxious face of ISIS. And look at this Hamas jihadis. You know, the type of brutality they have unleashed in Israel is absolutely amazing. You see, they have beheaded 40 young children. 40. Can you imagine? They have put those certain small children in the cages, and out of sheer curiosity, those children are so small, they are trying to look towards with curiosity what is happening. So these people are laughing at those children. How can you put children into cages? They have with dead body of a female. I think she belongs to some other country. And how can you treat dead body with such contempt and such hatred? There is a Geneva Convention, Vienna Convention, Montreal Declaration, which clearly defines that if you ill-treat the dead body, if you disrespect dead body, it amounts to war crime. It amounts to war crime. So these Hamas people, jihadis, are criminals. They are war criminals. They need to be sorted out militarily, physically, and also at United Nations. This issue needs to be raised. The videos which were available in the domain, public domain, those needs to be shown to the United UNSC group and the President of United Nations.
General, thank you for providing us with that context. I want to now take our audiences to the ground. On the ground, we have with us our colleague Abhishek Jha. He's with us live from Tel Aviv in this moment. He's been providing us with live updates through the day today. Abhishek, this afternoon, can you tell us, question number one, what is the status of the Israeli military plan here? For the last few days, we've been telling our audiences that a land invasion is imminent for the Gaza Strip. What's taking place there?
Well, the plan has been to flush out all the militants first who had invaded Israeli territory in the southern part, and most of them they have been either neutralized, detained, or driven away to the other side, that is on the side of Gaza. After that, there are multiple airstrikes that has happened over the last 4 days, which has uh, killed several hundreds of people associated with Hamas, including senior leaders, their religious clerics, or people who had been, supporting Hamas. That is something has been very, a major offensive that the Israeli side had launched. Now the only concern has been how to evacuate or safely bring back all the nationals, foreign nationals, or Israeli nationals who have been taken hostage by the Hamas in Gaza. We have seen the kind of atrocities that they have committed. We have seen the kind of inhuman conditions they have kept those hostages in. There are videos, there are news coming in, and like our guest was saying, it had been a horrible crime that amounts, even if we consider Hamas a party to this whole situation, it would amount to be a war crime, and they need to be punished either way. Israeli government has been in touch with most of the people, most of the leaders around the world. Benjamin Netanyahu had a talk with Prime Minister Modi also. He has been in regular touch with European leaders. USA, Secretary Blinken is in Tel Aviv right now. UK Foreign Minister James Cleverly was in Tel Aviv yesterday. So the international support is also kind of getting, shoring up for Israeli for any military intervention that it would want to have in order to, destruct and totally demolish the network and the ground operation units of Hamas in Gaza.
Okay. Abhishek, let me just tell our audiences, you have now moved to Jerusalem. You were obviously in Tel Aviv a little earlier. I just wanted to give our audiences that context. Jerusalem is the capital, remember, of Israel. Abhishek, if we could now take to you a second question. Number one, how is the Israeli Defense Force planning to attack Hamas in particular? Because Hamas, as we've been telling our audiences, often uses civilian residences when they plan their attack. What is the game plan there, number one? And number two, if you could tell us also about the siege we've seen on the Gaza Strip. We know the United Nations Secretary General said that there is a humanitarian crisis there. Bring us more context.
So the siege that has been on the Gaza Strip has been very, kind of humanitarian crisis is also emerging there. We have seen number of people, hospitals running out of electricity, basic amenities. Food is in short supply, fuel is in short supply. So this is exactly the situation right now, and this is concerning from a humanitarian point of view, because it is believed that about 8 to 10 people working for United Nations, they have also been killed. Other people working for Red Cross, they have been killed. People involved in aiding and assisting other people for medical things, they have been killed in the multiple rocket attacks that has been happening from the Israeli side. Apart from that, the plan is not to stop those attacks, because the Israeli government has clearly told people in Gaza that they have to move away from the
Abhishek, I'm
localities
so
where Hamas.
sorry. We have run out of time. Let me just come back to you in a second. We'll head into a short break. We'll connect once again with my colleague Abhishek and get you more context on other stories in just a few minutes.